All right, everybody, welcome to BO Boys for Thursday, April 4th. Fuck it, it's a raw feed. We're doing it live in the new studio. I'm Clayton.
Yeah, I'm Pat. So, Clayton, for the people who listen to this podcast feed, probably not much has changed. We sound great, but we always sound great.
Mm-hmm.
But for those who are watching the BO Boys YouTube channel right now, I'm going to wave at them in the camera here. We are in the brand new BO Boys studio, and, we're still decorating, the blank shelves here. We're going to put stuff in there, box office memorabilia, pictures of Scott Mendelson, the ace Eric Weber, Jeff Backus, the Relations Co. Get the family
The
photos in there.
bobbleheads.
Yeah, we'll get all the bobbleheads in there. But yeah, we are in the studio. We won't be in here every episode, but we will be in here probably once in a while. So, hey guys, hey, there we are.
Well,
So
you're a real YouTuber now.
you got to say, hey guys.
The hey guys.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm up with the youth culture. I know that when you're on YouTube, you say, "Hey guys,
When you
how you
see
doing?" And you wave, you turn to the camera and you wave. And so for the podcast feed, they're probably like, "What is he doing? I can't see him. I can't see him. It's only my ears." But don't worry, it's great.
Well, go to the YouTube channel because then you can just scrub to the high point where it shows most rewatched.
Right,
When
which
you
is
said,
usually
"Hey,
nudity.
guys."
I just the hey guys, yeah.
That
Yeah.
and then the whatever nudity we show.
Yes, if there's any nip slips, those are always the high point when you scrub through the YouTube channel. But yeah, we're here on the podcast feed on the BO Boys YouTube network, and we're here to do a little weekend preview for what may not be that sleepy of a weekend. We were kind of worried, I think, about April being a letdown following Dune 2 and Ghostbusters, and of course, the collab last weekend being big. But we might have a couple of hit movies this weekend, possibly, maybe.
I don't know if couple.
Oh, wow. Okay. You don't think it's going to be two hit movies? Because we got two big new releases. We were not big, but we've got two wide releases.
See, wide is different than big.
Okay.
I mean, this is sounding like a Kirk exclusive. We got to keep it clean on this show.
Yes. This show on the Kirk exclusive on the Kirk Minahan YouTube network. Anything goes.
Yeah,
Caution tapes off. There's no limits. There's no restraints.
But I will agree, wide release for sure. Two wide releases. And do you want to start with the one that I think is gonna do well, or the one I think is not gonna do well?
Oh, I want to start with the one you think will not do well. Because when you're angry and you're PO'd and your back is against the wall, I think that's when you're at your best. So let's hear it. Which of these two new releases do you think is gonna bomb? Hey guys, Clayton's about to start talking now. I just had to do that for the YouTube audience.
Hey guys, First Omen.
Wow. Okay.
And right, Brett from the New Flesh #horror lifestyle.
Yeah.
We know what he says. Horror always wins.
Yes, he does.
The issue here is horror's already winning because you have Immaculate, which had a great hold.
Okay.
Almost no drop. I mean, 39%.
Yeah.
Still.
Sydney Sweeney stayed firm at the box office.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then you have Late Night with the Devil, still going strong.
Right.
And that's what the gorehounds and the horror heads are going to be still going to see. And I know they need fresh blood and fresh meat.
Yeah.
But the Omen is, I think, there's nuns in it. And there's already nuns.
But there were nuns in the Nun, and there's nuns in Nun Part 2, and those did well.
Yeah, but those were separated and they're apart from each other. And this nun here in the Omen is going to have to go head to head with Sydney Sweeney, which is different than just your run-of-the-mill nun.
Okay.
Right? I think that I'm not saying this movie's going to bomb. I just don't think that this movie's going to do well. I think it's going to do under Night Swim, which was open to like 11.
Oh wow, you're thinking that low? Because I would say that's pretty low if this opens under Night Swim.
I think the power of Immaculate and Late Night with the Devil is going to be a 1-2 punch that is going to really take this stale IP, which did well when it came out in the 70s, had some sequels which did marginal business, had a sort of reimagining, or a remake in what, 2006
Yeah, yeah.
with Liv Schreiber, and who else was in that movie?
I wanna say Jessica Chastain, even though I know it's not Jessica Chastain.
Julia Stiles,
Julia Stiles, yes.
2000 and
Her and Chastain, just almost similar careers,
oh,
yeah.
absolutely. 2006 remake did not do a lot of business.
Right.
And, you know, you mentioned The Omen when you were talking Exorcist before, just
Yes.
because they're both based on blockbuster novels, big movies in the 70s,
Mhm. Well,
and
one had Ellen Burstyn, though.
yes, of course, we know how you feel about Ellen Burstyn.
Yep.
You're perennial babe of the
Babe of the century,
century,
yeah.
right? And so I do think that feels stale to me, is a stale IP. And I sort of pushed back on you when you put The Omen in the same class as Exorcist, but I almost am agreeing with you now that this feels passé compared to something like Late Night with the Devil and
Mhm.
Immaculate. It's a new generation of horror, and this feels pretty stale to me. Although I will say, great first trailer.
Yeah, that's the thing is it had a really good trailer. I remember seeing the trailer a few months ago and not exactly know I didn't know it was an Omen movie until towards the end. I was like, "Oh, this looks pretty good."
Yeah.
Um, so I wonder, you mentioned The Exorcist. Exorcist Believer, does that somehow hurt The Omen? Do young people start to lump all of that together as just old horror shit that they're tired of? Or do people not make that mental connection and they didn't like Exorcist Believer, but they're not gonna taint The Omen?
Yeah, it's hard because we barely I mean, neither of us were alive in 76.
We were not. No,
No.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I'm Gen X, but
I'm
I
also
was
Gen X,
not,
but
but I was not alive in 76, and neither were you, so we can agree on
we
that.
could
We
agree
can't
on
agree on the
that, yeah.
generation,
And we
but we
both
can agree.
graduated college the
Okay,
same
yeah,
year,
so
so
that doesn't really mean anything to
different
anyone.
ages, but same college
Yeah, but that doesn't
graduation,
really mean
so
anything to anyone. So, you look up the laws in Pennsylvania, but, what I'm saying about that is we know our history.
mhm,
And I don't know if the youngins know their history. We don't know if they know that Exorcist and Omen are equivocated
mhm.
because of the reasons we mentioned. It might just be an innate sense that young people have of something being stale. Like,
Right.
we always say this about kids. Kids are like, generally stupid,
Okay.
and they really just are rats that need cheese. But there's an instinct that goes along with that.
Mhm.
They know brie and they know stale cheese.
Right.
They just know. It's not cerebral at all. It's sort of an instinct. And I think that's the same way that some people are with movies. Teens, they'll know when something is lame and stale. And I
Right.
do think The Omen just is lame and stale.
Yeah, I mean, I think the IP is probably a push, and well, the thing is, like, look at something like Exorcist Believer, a movie that no one liked and didn't have big stars, and it didn't do well compared to how much it cost them to buy the IP.
Mhm.
But it's a movie that if it were not Exorcist IP, would have done so much worse than it did. Like, the title did mean something. That movie opened to 20 something million, right? I feel like that movie opened to a number that was low when we were comparing it to, the
Like
David Gordon Green
Halloween.
Halloween movies, but the IP is better than nothing. I think, like, even look at Late Night with the Devil. That is doing well for the size of that movie, doing well as, like, the biggest IFC Films release ever, but if that same movie were The Omen, but it was set in a Joe Franklin show type 70s talk show, it does better opening numbers than it does being called Late Night with the Devil,
Y I
right?
I
Omen
yeah,
presents
but
Late
it's
Night with the
yeah,
Devil,
but that's
and it's like Damien is a host of a local New York City,
but then
public
it's not an
access show.
IFC movie. That's the thing. Then if it is an Omen movie,
True,
then it's
true.
not an IFC movie, so you're playing with a different
A different
set
set
of
of
cards.
promotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, open at 26.4,
Right.
which was and also,
A
um,
lot of promotion. I mean,
yeah.
that's a movie that's got way more promotion than this Omen movie is doing. I wonder though if with The Omen, It's a devil movie. And this is a prequel to the first one. So we're not going to get
First Omen.
Damien as the baby. We're
That's
not
a
going to get baby Damien. Isn't that the whole hook, is that you get to see baby Damien crawling around?
that's a great question. I don't know what this is about. Maybe it's about the birth mother of Damien, but that I think is also a
So
problem where it's
yeah.
like, just give us Damien.
Yes, we want, if anything, give us Damien older. That's why I said Late Night with the Devil with Damien as the host. We want to see Damien later in life, not pre-life.
Well, they've already done that with the sequels because I believe Sam Neill played Damien grown up in one of the sequels.
Mhm.
But e at least give us the kid, right? Like, give us
Right.
Damien as the child, and then if this does well, go back in time or go
Go
forward in
into the
time.
womb.
Je
Yeah.
what I'm
Is this
a
in the womb? Is this a prequel in the womb?
If this was a found footage type movie that was
Sonograms?
sonograms,
Yeah.
then you have something.
Yes.
That's something unique. Also, the budget would be really low
Yep.
because
All sonograms.
all
Yeah.
sonograms. I mean, you know, I don't know how much it costs to do a sonogram, but multiply that by another few hours, like an hour and a half, right? Because the sonogram is usually what, 5 minutes, maybe
Right.
that, unless there's an issue. But
And if you get that covered by your health insurance covers the entire production of this all sonogram found footage movie.
yeah, just rent out that sonogram machine or whatever, or make an appointment
Right.
and say, "I'm doing this for an hour and a half." Well, you
Right.
know what? Actually,
So real time
80
found
minutes.
footage sonogram
Yeah,
film covered by health insurance.
because at
That's
least
a way to, I mean, that's a way to do a really budget conscious Omen prequel.
mhm, yeah, and that is not this.
That is not this. We have seen the trailer. We know for sure this is not found footage sonogram only movie.
Mhm,
Yeah, I wonder if, I mean, Damien as a horror icon,
mm,
where do you put Damien?
not at the table.
Oh no, he's not sitting there with Freddy, Jason, Chucky in the
Chicken
high
high chair.
chair. Yeah.
Uh, I don't
Art the
think
clown now gets to
yes.
come in. They razz him a little bit, but then they kick the seat over and he sits down.
Listen, it's locker room talk.
Yeah.
But I think Damien hasn't gotten a invitation to the party since 2007, probably 2006.
Mm,
I would say I'd say 2005. 2005, there's word there's gonna be another Omen movie.
mhm.
Damien gets an invite, "Hey, let's just see how
It's been
this
a
it's
while.
been a while, let's see what's up." Once that movie comes out and bombs,
Mhm.
no invite.
Right.
There's not been an invite for Damien since then, and that is almost 20 years.
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if the devil is hot right now on people's minds because of Late Night with the Devil, so that maybe gives this Omen movie a little juice. People had a
Son of
good
the
time.
devil.
Yeah, I mean, people had a good time last week with the devil, so are they gonna want more devil?
You know what they should do? I always we talked about rebranding last episode,
Okay.
how to rebrand. I mean, obviously we said Wolverine
Right.
X
Ex Deadpool, yeah.
Deadpool X Wolverine,
Yeah, yeah.
obviously, with either the slashes or just the X
I think just the
symbol,
X-Men X. Yeah,
because it's
reclaim the
X-Men.
X.
Play date with the devil. That's what you call the Omen, because
Yep.
that is hot now, right?
Yes.
And you can put the Omen in there, the first Omen, or it's play date with the devil, the first Omen.
The first Omen. Yeah.
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 Or nap time with the devil, or whatever it ends up being, like, feeding time for Damien, whatever you wanna call it.
So you think last minute week of release rebrand,
Why
because
not?
is Late Night with the Devil that big? It's doing well for an IFC movie. It's
Well, let
people
me
are
say.
liking it, but this is a major studio.
Mhm.
Is this like Sony putting out this Omen movie?
I believe so.
Right? So are they going to change their week of marketing campaign because of Late Night with the Devil? This is 20th Century Studios. So this is a
Oh,
this is a Disney
Disney.
release.
Okay, so here's what you do then. you get the people at the movie theaters, they have access to the posters. The posters are up,
The
right?
posters are up, yeah.
The marquee can be
They're
changed.
behind glass at this point. We're
They've
we're
got
talking to
keys.
they
They've
got
got
keys to
keys
get in those
to
glass
get the
doors,
glass
yeah.
doors open. You take a little bit of red paint and they write "Play date with the devil" on the poster.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so it looks like
DIY
street
rebrand.
graffiti, yeah.
And that'll be fun because people can take pictures and be like, "This is look how this one was spelled, and look how this one was spelled."
Right, right.
And someone just put a butt with a fart cloud coming out of it.
Right, but that doesn't really capture the sort of 70s aesthetic that people like about Late Night with the Devil. This is more 90s fart street art.
Well, that one, that's somebody who went off the sort of they did not
Rails.
go they did not go along with the assignment, and I think as long as the poster's in the tweet, it still is promotion.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So,
Okay.
as long as most of the posters are rebranded correctly, I think it'll work.
Bill Nighy is in this movie. Does Bill Nighy mean anything to this opening
Bill
weekend?
Nye
Yeah.
means absolute jackass.
Wow. Okay.
Jackass. You know, the fact that you said Bill Nye is in this makes me not wanna go.
Really? He's a negative to you? I mean, I feel like he's a he just makes me think, is this a Richard Curtis, romantic dramedy?
Yeah. Well, you know, I this might be because you always say that I have personal opinions about things that only I hold,
Yeah.
and this may be one of those because the great Nick Turner, who has been on this show before,
He has been on the show. I mean, remember in
not in a
summer of
while.
2020, he was the number one box office comedy star in America,
Yeah.
thanks to well, I can't believe I'm forgetting Travis Irvine's great
Raccoons.
Raccoons, too. They come at Christmas, and we're blanking on the title of this hit movie from
Why
2020.
don't you look that up while I talk about this? So,
Yeah, you vamp.
well, it's not vamping. I'm making a point. I'm continuing my story when you interrupted me. So, so you can continue doing what
I
you're
just
doing, and
consider
I'll continue.
you making a point also to be vamping, just in
That's great
general.
that everybody knows that now. So that's good. As if people couldn't tell. He had a real
Killer Raccoons 2, Dark Christmas in the Dark, starring Nick Turner.
great interruption. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
So Nick Turner,
Mhm.
previous biggest comedy star in the world and future,
He'll be there again, of
he'll
course.
be there again when the third one comes out, which we will be in. We
100%.
were promised.
Yes, we've been promised to be killed in the third, Killer Raccoons movie.
Yes. He had a real hard on, I'll say,
Okay.
for Bill Nighy getting an Oscar. Remember a couple years ago?
Yes.
And I got it. Listen, I love Nick. Great guy. I got so sick of hearing about this Bill Nighy and this Bill Nighy winning an Oscar that now I got a little bit of an aversion to Bill Nighy.
Wow.
So that is completely personal. So that will not affect the box office. I don't think anybody else feels that way
Right.
except for me.
Right. No, I don't think that Nick Turner gambling on Bill Nye winning an Oscar a few years ago has turned anyone off to him as an actor or an attraction to go see or not go see a movie. I
But
think that's just you.
but with saying that, not a butts in the seats, guy.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah, with this movie, it really comes down to horror. There is a floor for horror in terms of if you promote a horror movie, it's going to do some amount of business. I think there's goodwill. I mean, there's always goodwill towards horror, but I think there's a little bit more goodwill towards horror at the moment because of Immaculate and Late Night with the Devil. So you could either look at those movies as competition for these eyeballs this weekend for First Omen, or you could look at those movies as rejazzing people up to want to go see horror in the theater. And I tend to think the latter. I think I'm higher on this First Omen. Well, definitely than you are because you think it's going to be a disappointment.
Yeah, I think they're saying teens, low teens. I'm saying single digits. I'm not saying that this is going to be 7 million,
Yeah, yeah.
6 million. I think it's really going to be 9.
Okay.
But I think here's the big thing with this too, is that young women usually go to horror. That's a big draw for young women, obviously young men too. But
Right.
when you're talking about the two new releases, so that one and Monkey Man.
Mhm.
Monkey Man is skewing male,
Mhm.
but is Monkey Man going to be a sneaky date movie? That's the question. Is there a interest in this movie as the date movie as
Mm.
opposed to The Omen?
Right.
Because think about this. You took your lady to see Immaculate. You did, your
I did.
wife,
I took my wife, yes.
right? And so say you did that and then also the weekend before, you didn't do this, but someone has done this,
Mhm.
taken the little lady or the little lady took them or the person took the other person
Person. Took person.
to see Late Night with the Devil.
Mm.
Is that 3 weekends in a row you're going horror? If you're not a gore hound, if you're
Right.
not a horror head,
Right, right. 'Cause the
or
listeners to the New Flesh, horror every weekend is a date.
yeah,
You know, they're getting
hashtag.
married in, like, haunted houses, and then they're going to see a horror movie later that night,
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're
which is
getting
great
married
for them, and it's great for Brett, and
they're
it's great
getting
for his wallet.
they're getting married in Salem,
Yep.
hashtag horror lifestyle.
Mhm.
I do think there's a level of, let's switch it up. Maybe we go see Monkey Man.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I could see that, though. I mean, let's get into Monkey Man. Monkey Man, it's not horror, obviously, but it's action, it's violence. I don't know if that's a the movie that if you've seen Late Night with the Devil and Immaculate as your date movies 2 weekends in a row, and then the other person
Person.
is like, "I need something totally different." I don't know if Monkey Man is that big shift
Mhm.
away from what you're already been getting from these horror movies.
Well,
So
it's
I
action. It's
it is
it's punch 'em
action.
up. It's
Yeah.
it's a it's a it's a punch 'em up movie.
Yeah. So, okay. So this is a movie that I feel like there's a lot of online buzz for it since the first trailers dropped and the news, that Jordan Peele rescued it from Netflix, brought it to the theaters. It's got a lot of goodwill. Dev Patel directed it, and he's someone who has just been in the culture for a while.
Mhm.
We've seen him grow up before our eyes, and we've seen him now turn into a man.
Mhm.
And he did the Green Knight, and people are starting to feel like, okay, he's no longer a boy. This is a man. Goodwill for the trailer. So there's a lot of online buzz. Is that going to translate into the real world this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, tweets aren't ticks, we
Tweets
always
aren't
say,
text.
but in some instances, there's people who are very excited online and they actually go. I mean, you saw it in a larger scale, obviously, with the Barbenheimer thing,
Right.
where everybody was posting about that online and they actually
They actually went.
went.
Hmm.
Is that the case here? I feel like it is in a
Okay.
way, because obviously it's not gonna be as big as those 2 movies
No.
at all, but this feels like a movie where the people who are talking about it are actually super psyched for it.
Okay.
And I also think when you look at the success of movies that have crossed over like RRR,
Hmm.
this is sort of, can America do what they're doing? Now the question here is, I mean, you saw RRR, right?
Oh, on Netflix. Yes.
Yeah,
I didn't see it in the theater, but
unfortunately, but that movie is awesome,
hmm,
but it is his own thing.
yes.
And
Yes.
there's so much crazy action in there that this doesn't look like it's gonna replicate. This looks more like along the lines of the John Wick, which is everybody saying this is like John Wick 1
Yeah.
and
The
then
Raid
the
movies.
Raid movies,
Yeah.
which are awesome, but they're not so unorthodox and they're not super Bollywood.
Right. Right.
So the question is this hiding some of that?
Hmm.
Or is this more of just a straight ahead action movie that has a few of those elements?
Right.
Which would be interesting, and we don't know yet. But I do think there's a lot of engagement, and I think the opening weekend isn't as important with this movie as the legs
Okay.
and the word of mouth,
Okay.
which sounds like sort of a cop out because if this does open in the low teens, I don't think it's a failure. It
Okay.
depends on what's the cinema score? What are the exits saying? What is the talk after it? Because this is something that I think people are gonna have to discover. The people that aren't terminally online, the people that
Mhm.
are your general moviegoers who did all the walk-up business to the collab last weekend
Right.
and who only see a movie every couple of months, are they going to be like, Monkey Man, this looks cool?
Right. I mean, you figure last weekend, a lot of people were going to the theaters to see the collab, and they saw the Monkey Man trailer. They saw the Monkey Man posters in the lobby. So last weekend definitely helped raise awareness at the perfect time for Monkey Man. This weekend's going to have to be the young people and the online people fueling it, because I don't think this has reached the dads yet. I don't think
Mhm.
this has reached even the young dads. I think this is a movie that is, no matter what it brings in, we're gonna see in the exits that this is very young skewing.
Now, do you think Jordan Peele being named in this,
Right,
is he at the point where obviously he's not a Nolan, he's not at that level yet.
right.
He's not a
He
uh
hasn't made as many movies as Nolan,
but
but
but but he is a marquee
yeah,
director name. But is it enough that he's a producer on this to get people who normally wouldn't see a movie like this? Eh, sure, and I think there is an
yeah.
amount. There's definitely an
There's an
amount,
amount,
but
yeah.
is it a large amount, or are we talking there's 3 million worth of people that are going to see this because Jordan Peele's name is on it?
I mean, I think if there's $3 million worth of people who Jordan Peele brings in, that's a huge number for this movie.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's tough with a director being able to draw people by being an executive producer of a movie. That's rarefied air. That's Spielberg in the 80s.
Yeah, because
You know,
because
that's
that never.
Amblin Entertainment situation where Spielberg presents Gremlins,
Mhm.
and then Gremlins is a hit. And I can't think of many directors who have gotten to presents as an executive producer, and that means something at the box
I
office.
mean,
I mean,
even
is there any?
Tarantino at his heyday when he was bringing over other, bringing over movies from other countries
Right,
and
like
doing
Man
the.
in the Iron Fist or that kind of thing.
Yeah, and, other he was his name was on other movies. Even those, I don't think did Buff a Bobo
Right,
just with his name. Now more people than would have seen it, and the fact that it's here and being released in America was something.
right, right,
But I don't think it's necessarily gonna be, 5, $6 million more.
right, right. Yeah, I think with this movie, it's about setting expectations correctly, especially for the opening weekend, because this was a movie that was gonna be on Netflix. It would do $0, be relevant for a day and a half, and instead now we're debating, is this movie gonna make 15 million? You know, there's people out there who think this could do high teens or 20. And so I think we can't have the expectations be so high that if this movie opens to $9 million, that we're freaking out.
Yeah, if the First Omen beats it, I
Right,
still don't think that's it for this. Because when you look at, okay, I'm gonna use John Wick because John Wick is sort of what people are talking about just in the feel of this movie.
right.
Now, again,
Action, punch 'em up. Yeah.
Keanu Reeves, big star, bigger name than Dev Patel, but at the time,
Mhm.
in 2014, on a swoon. Now we
Yeah,
know that he has his swoons and he comes back.
yeah.
I mean, nobody has had more swoons and come back than Keanu Reeves.
Yes, yes.
Truly. This opened to 14, legged out to 43, and now it's a blockbuster franchise.
Right,
And that's the thing is this thing should be looked at in that level is can this get to 40? If
right,
this gets to 40, then you get a sequel,
right,
and who knows where that goes.
right, right.
I think that's what you look at with this. If this thing gets to $40 million, people should be celebrating it.
Yes. It's and this movie I'm about to say was way too released way too early in the comeback from COVID period to have been a bigger hit. But you know what I'm gonna say.
Nobody.
Nobody. Yeah, Bob Odenkirk's Nobody came out in spring 2021. I think that came out before Godzilla versus Kong, which was the next huge step up to opening the box office. And that movie, I think we were thinking, man, could this do $40 million, $50 million? And I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, did it do like 28 million domestic total?
So close, 27.
27. Yeah. It opened at like 8 or 9 and it got so that's a box office run that if Monkey Man, I think before the trailer came out, if you told the executives this movie's going to leg out and do $28 million total, they would have they would have lost their minds. They would have loved it. And so now we're looking at a movie thinking, man, could it do $20 million the first weekend? So I think those become expectations that are too lofty. I don't think this movie has gotten awareness yet past online people, young people,
Mhm.
and I think to hit those Godzilla X Kong collab type numbers, which is never gonna hit, but like to be a big mainstream movie, you gotta get younger people as in kids, which this doesn't have, and you gotta just get the Earth Dogs, the Plain Billies, and I think those could come, but they won't be there on weekend one.
Absolutely not. Yeah, because we know the oldsters wait,
Yeah, the
you
ultras
know?
wait. I mean, here's a comp I'll throw out at you because, looking at the plot of, Monkey Man, it makes me think of a movie that we just saw a few months ago. So the plot of Monkey Man is that Dev Patel's character's mom gets killed. He's looking for revenge, and in looking for revenge, he ends up becoming a champion of the poor and downtrodden, fighting against those keeping them down. That's the Beekeeper. I mean,
Mm,
let's just say it. That's the Beekeeper. Jason Statham gaining revenge for a mother figure in his life, and then once he saw what happened, he becomes the savior of the poor, the downtrodden, fighting the man, all that. So I mean, this is the Beekeeper. Do we think Monkey Man has any shot of opening to Beekeeper numbers?
man, Statham.
Well, that's the thing. It's Statham. Statham is, at least in this genre, a bigger star than, Dev Patel is.
That's the thing, is that I
Dev
don't think
Patel's
it's
been in a Best Picture winner, and he's been famous for a long time, but he's not a butts in the seat star, I don't think,
yeah.
at least in action, and so Beekeeper opens at 16.5 million in January.
You know what? With that but the Beekeeper opened up against something pretty big, right?
It opened against Mean Girls. It was
Okay, so something
yeah,
not
it
that
was B-Girl Weekend, of
yeah,
course.
yeah. That was huge. Those memes were huge.
Yeah,
I think that could we get the B-girl? Do you and sorry, aside,
yeah.
and I'm Gen X, so I'm gonna explain this to you. There was a girl in a video for a song called No Rain,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? Are you familiar with that song?
Yeah, you know what I like to eat in the summer? Some blind melon.
Blind Melon. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you think we could get B-girl
I Could we get her? I think now, hey guys,
in the studio? Hey guys,
I'm talking to the YouTube audience now that they see this beautiful studio, which is, it's going to get more beautiful. We're going to get 3 cameras in here. We're going to, get the pictures of Scott Mendelson, Jeff
we're gonna
Buck,
have 300 books.
BA spread. We're going to have 300 books in here. So this studio, when it gets up to that level, then I think we go out to B Girl and we have her in here for a special episode where we talk about B Girl Weekend, the famous weekend where Mean Girls, the musical, and the Beekeeper open the same
And she
weekend.
was all over all those memes. So, here's the thing.
Yeah.
When you say that that opened to 16,
Hmm.
that really does make me think that the expectations for this are really high.
Yes,
Because
I think it's too
Statham
high.
plus the fact that that was a name director. Now Dev Patel is directing, and there is an interest there in the sense of, "Oh, it's interesting when an actor directs."
Hmm.
But, uh, Ayers, I'm sorry, what's his first
David
name?
Ayers.
David Ayers.
Yeah.
He is actually a name that people recognize, and we were excited that he was doing this sort of movie and not doing a superhero movie.
Yes. Yes.
And so that was also, I think, an added bonus, and
Hmm.
that was something that maybe put a few $1,000,000 on that, because if it was a Statham movie directed by a journeyman,
Right.
you're still gonna get the Statham people, but you're not gonna get the other people who are like, "Oh, this is like a legit director doing one of these sorts of movies." So 16 for that makes me think this thing is gonna do like 12
Yeah. I
or
mean,
13.
yeah. I mean, we'll get into our top fives in a minute because I'm feeling we're gonna have an opposite tact here after this conversation. I'm feeling we're gonna have we're gonna have some differences in our top five. So before we get into that, Clayton, can I read you an email that we got?
Is it fresh? Is it fresh?
Fresh off the presses, hot off the presses, fresh in my inbox. So we got an email from wannabe person Alex,
Okay.
and the subject is Raka Raka New Project Insight. So the email states, "Hi, Pat and Clayton. Hey guys,
Hey, guys.
hey guys." That's from us. The hey guys. So hi, Pat and Clayton. Wanted to provide some field correspondence regarding an upcoming Raka Raka project. Now, of course, Raka Raka directed Talk to Me YouTube stars who now have become star directors. So good for
Sort of
Raka
our
Raka.
future trajectory.
Yep. So, wants to provide some field correspondence regarding an upcoming Raka Raka project. Was at a GCW wrestling show in Detroit 2 weeks ago, and Michael Filippo of Raka Raka Talk to Me fame participated in an insane death match that occurred off air and was only for live audience. They said it was being filmed for a movie that will be going to theaters eventually. I'm assuming some sort of hardcore wrestling documentary, but details were limited. Some of the spots they did were absolutely wild, including Michael uh, going through a flaming pane of glass. They share a clip online, so it's definitely not anything too top secret, but looking to earn my wanna BO stripes. And they puts the link to the clip in there, um, which we'll put in the show notes. So
Great insider info. Thank you.
amazing. So thank you, wannabe person Alex. So at this GCW, that is the most violent. They hit each other with light tubes. I think that is where a couple of years ago David Arquette almost got his throat cut off.
By a fluorescent bulb
Yes, yes.
saved by,
Who saved him?
uh,
Courtney Cox?
no, Luke Perry, RIP.
Oh, wait, Luke Perry
Luke
before he
Perry was
died?
there, and he helped him, stop the bleeding.
Wow.
Great man. And he
Wow.
did it in 8 seconds.
Wow. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking at one of the stunts now, and it looks like the director of Raka Raka is thrown off a scaffolding through a pane of glass on a table, and the table is on fire.
Now, this pro
Wow, wow.
let me tell you why.
Hey guys, I'm just watching the clip
Hey,
on
guys.
my phone. Hey guys.
Uh, let me tell you why this excites me and or worries me.
Okay.
Excites me because obviously this is a cool idea for a movie, whatever it's gonna be.
Right.
Extreme wrestling, great idea for a
Right.
movie. But I know they used to, they acted in their shorts and their YouTube stuff.
Right. They were like stunts on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. My fear here is that we're gonna get another Safdie situation where
Mm,
one of them is going to get too into the acting
mhm.
and they're not gonna do the collabs anymore,
Right.
split up, and then one of them's by themselves doing something, the other one's acting, the other one's playing a parent in a Judy Blume movie.
Yeah.
I don't wanna
And
see
wasting Emma Stone's time on a TV
on a TV
channel.
show,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't wanna see one of the Rocka Rocka guys being the dad in Super Fudge.
Okay.
I want them to make cool movies.
Mhm.
So, now if they're, if it's like, "I act in our movies," that's great, but
Right.
don't split up yet. I mean,
Yes, please, Rocka Rocket, don't split up.
don't split up. You're just starting out.
Yeah.
Acting is not as fun as you think it is.
Right. Right. Well, I think I feel that maybe, anything could happen, but looking again at this clip of one of the Rocka Rocka guys being thrown off a scaffolding through a flaming pane of glass
Mhm.
makes me feel like that Rocka Rocka person
Person.
is not is not really invested in the craft of acting. Like I don't think that Raka Raka person
person.
is is in the same boat as the Safdie brother who wants to act opposite Emma Stone. I think maybe he just wanted to get thrown off a scaffold through a plate of flaming glass, film it.
That's how it starts.
That is how it starts. Yeah. I mean, uh they told the crowd, according to our wannabe o person, that
Person.
they're filming this to be in a movie released in movie theaters, which that's great. I mean, I love that they said that up front, got the crowd on their side. Because if you interrupt a wrestling show to say we're filming a scene for something that's going to be on a streaming network, you're in danger of losing that crowd.
Hey guys, we're gonna be shooting this for a freebie.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that wrestling crowd's going to revolt.
Yeah.
Um, and so I am excited. At least they're working on something for theaters because Talk to Me was a hit. I would think they're going to be getting to Talk to Me too soon,
They got to.
right? You've got to continue the horror franchise, but I'm just glad to see they're working on something. Hopefully, he just wants to be thrown through some flaming glass and doesn't want to become an actor and keep Rocket together.
Yeah, fingers crossed. But hey guys,
Hey guys.
if you have any sort of information like this, you're somewhere where they're shooting a movie
Mm-hmm.
and you get to talk to somebody or you get, some pictures of, I don't know, stars being stars or on set or something like that, let us know. We'll talk about it. We'll break
Yes.
the news. You don't have to send it to TMZ.
No, send it here.
Send it here.
I mean, that Harvey guy at TMZ's gotta be so old at this point.
I don't even know if he's still going, that guy?
Yeah, I think he's still going, but I think if you send your emails to him, there's a good chance that he's gonna lose them before
Mhm.
he reads it on the show.
Yeah.
So, let's get to our top 5s. Let's get to
Yeah.
these predictions.
Pat, I'm so you're saying that we're gonna diverge so greatly that I feel like I need to hear your take immediately.
Okay, so here then is my take. I mean, I think we're gonna be alike on number 1, which is gonna be the collab Weekend 2. I think God, it made 80 million last weekend. It'll do a bigger than 50% drop because it's such a big movie.
Yeah, that movie was
So,
so big.
I think it'll drop an 80 last weekend. I think it does like 35 or 36 million this weekend.
Okay,
Um,
so mid-50s
yeah,
drop.
mid 50s. Number 2, hashtag horror lifestyle. I think the Omen,
Okay,
the
okay.
first Omen is going to be bigger than Monkey Man. Um, and I think the first Omen does like 17 million. I think the devil is hot and you got to ride with the devil this weekend. And I'm going first Omen number 2, 17 million.
Wow, Ride with the Devil, one of Jules' only acting parts.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Um, I'll go then Monkey Man number 3,
What's your Monkey Man number?
11 million.
Okay.
I'm low on the Monkey Man. And again, I think it will have legs, but I think the awareness for opening weekend is a little overblown.
Mhm.
So it might even do like 10. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'd love to see this just go bananas and does 20 million. Who
Yeah.
knows? But I think the awareness is like 10 or 11 million this weekend. Number 4, I think Dune Part 2 is going to hop over Ghostbusters. And then number 5 is going to be Ghostbusters.
Alright. I mean, Godzilla
Yeah.
X Kong the collab, which again, we talk about rebrand, just rebranded that. What is it? The New Empire, just call it
Call it the
collab. And
collab.
I know it'd be Godzilla collab Kong the collab, but still, that's
People love this
people
collab.
love the collab. I mean, they loved our collab with the Ace last
Yes. Great
episode.
collab.
Yeah, second greatest collab of this month,
Yep.
probably behind those 2. Number 1, yeah, I think this is mid-50s drop. It's gonna be probably around I'm gonna say around I'll say 30.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Uh, Number 2, this is interesting because You know, the beekeeper really swayed me. That
Mhm.
16 million really swayed me. So I'm gonna go with number 2 is gonna be The Omen.
Oh,
And
wow.
I but I but
I thought we would diverge there.
I think it makes 13, lucky number
Oh,
13.
so you're just low on everything then.
And then Monkey Man, I do think is gonna make, like, 11. So it's gonna be close, but I think The Omen is gonna squeak past it. Then I think, yeah, F Ghostbusters. Nobody likes this
No
effing
one likes this
movie.
movie.
Dune Part 2, and then Ghostbusters:
Mhm.
Frozen Kingdom. I mean, okay, how low could Ghostbusters go? I mean, do we see any way Immaculate there's no way Immaculate beats, because then that would be like it would have to go
Immaculate would have
up.
to
It would have to
increase.
increase, so there's no way. Um, Ghostbusters definitely 5.
Yeah, because Ghostbusters made what, like 19 million or so last weekend, so
Yeah, because it was down
or
65.
maybe no, it made less, it made like 15 or
Mhm.
16. Um, yeah, there's I just don't think the math could ever
Math
work
doesn't
out.
work with Immaculate, but I mean, it could definitely go lower than 5th.
Yeah, it could.
Yeah.
It could. Um, all right, so those are our predictions. So, hey guys,
Hey, guys.
email us theboboyspodcast at gmail.com. I'm doing this direct into camera for the YouTube audience out there. We want to get your boots on the ground reporting, your predictions, what you've seen, what you want to see, trailer talk. We love trailer talk. Of course, I talked about the Bad Boys Live Free or Ride Die. What is part 4
Live
called?
free or ride die.
L-
Absolutely.
Live Free
Correct.
or Ride Die. I finally
Yeah.
saw that trailer. We talked about that. What trailers do you want to talk about? Email us theboboyspodcast at gmail.com. Follow us on social media at the BO Boys Pod. Wannabe senior intern Christopher is killing it with the vertical clips. And we are going to have Wannabe senior intern Christopher on very soon. It's been a
Mhm.
while. I think we got to have maybe an all hands on deck situation soon.
I'll have to see Jack for the first time since we interviewed him.
I think we are going to have Jack on too because Jack's been doing a great job with the Substack. Wannabe
Agreed.
Junior intern Jack, killing with the Substack. And honestly, I think I want to have him on here, talk about what he's been writing, what he's got in the hopper for the rest of the spring and the summer. So I think family reunion coming up on a episode of the BO Boys soon.
Love it.
So Wannabe senior intern, Wannabe junior intern, Christopher Jack. You guys have been killing it. Follow us on social media, the clips, all that stuff. 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, the YouTube channel. So, hey guys,
Hey, guys.
so if you're watching this right now, you could attest the BO Boys YouTube channel is just fantastic and it's getting bigger every day. Production value is going sky high. So watch us on YouTube. Watch our special spin-off series, the BO Boys Kirk exclusive. That's on the Kirk Minahan show YouTube channel. So that's where you got to go to see the BO Boys Kirk exclusive spin-off show. I said 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and oh, the live shows. I mean, listen, we'll be plugging these for the next 5 months, but in LA on Tuesday, October 8th, talking Joker 2, in New York City at the Parkside Lounge on Tuesday, October 22nd. The links for both of those shows to buy tickets be going up very soon, but those are going to be huge. So start making your travel plans. LA on the 8th of October, New York on the 22nd of October, Boston probably in November. So start making your fall travel plans to see the BO Boys live on tour. And that's all I got, Clayton.
It's so much.
Yeah, it's so
There's
much.
there's no nothing else that could possibly be said,
No, nothing.
except for until
Until
next
next
time,
time,
we'll
we'll
smell
smell
you
you
at
at
the
the box
box office.
office.
Nailed
Nailed it.
it. Oh, hi, guys.
Hi, guys.